Hi, this is Alex from phpacademy.org, and this is another video for the new Boston. Now, we've already looked at our custom server and database exceptions. Now what we're going to be looking about is coming into our extended classes here, but taking some information and outputting some useful information. So what we've done is we've created errors in root and a database. So I've changed root to Alex, and what that's done is if we refresh, we're saying could not connect to server, and if we are changing a database and appending a 1 on, we're saying could not select database. Now what I want to do is give a more specific error, so I want to say what line it's on and what file it is from. So again, this may be a useless example, but you can understand then the concept of everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this, and we are just going to echo out a custom error message depending on our server exception and database exception. And we're going to be changing these functions names in a bit when we've redefined them. So up here at the moment we've got nothing within our brackets, but if I pull these down, we can start to define custom functions inside, or methods rather, because obviously in object-oriented programming, which this is part of, we are looking at methods. We're calling them methods. So what we can say is we can say public function, we can say show specific, and again we're going to create a block inside this as well. So here is going to be our error message. So what this is going to do is it's going to echo out, in fact no, it's going to return, and what we want to return is first of all the line number that we find the error on, and then the file itself that we're actually in, which is going to be index.php. So we want to return this, we use this, it's not a defined variable that I've defined anywhere, this just means this in general here, this, and we're going to say get line. Okay, get line. So we can make it look a bit more user friendly. Error on line something, so this line here. And then we're going to say append on some more text in this get file. So now what our error is going to read is error on line, and we're appending on the line that this error has been thrown on. So error, we'll say thrown. Oh, to make a bit more sense. So error thrown on line something in this file. Okay, so let's just test that, and then we'll create another one for the database exception as well. So at the moment, if we refresh, it looks like we're connected absolutely fine. So we need to change this. Remember here, this currently says get message, and that's echoing out this message here. So let's delete these, and we'll purposely create a server error, and we'll see what happens. Nothing. Oh yeah, okay. So it's because we want this function show specific. We want to take that from our exception that we've thrown. So we're going to say show specific. Okay, so now let's refresh. Okay, so we're showing that an error has been thrown on line 21 in, and then we echo the file name out. So our custom error message where the exception has been thrown is successful. So it reads error thrown in line something in. So let's just double check everything. I know the file name's fine because we can see that here. We're working with index.php, even though it wasn't previously shown, but there we are. So we're error thrown on line 21. Let's go and have a look to see where the error has been thrown. So the throw new server exception is on this line here, and you can see that down here in the corner it's line 21. So we're successfully showing the right information. So now what we can do is do the same thing for database exception. We can create a public function show specific, and we can do exactly the same thing. So we can return error thrown on line, and then we say this get line. Okay, so remember this is this get line here and this get file here is a method within exception. However, because we're extending this, we're actually putting it into use in our server exception, which we've called ourselves, or named ourselves rather. So this .get line, and then we append on in, and then we append onto that this get file. Okay, so now that should do exactly the same thing. Let's return this to root, so we don't throw an error for that. And remember, we need to change this to show specific. Okay, so let's change our database information. So we throw an error for this. Refresh, and now it says, oh, we've missed out a little space there. Let's pop a space in there to make it neat. So we've got error thrown on line 25 in the same file, obviously. So let's go to line 25 and check where the error has been thrown, or the exception has been thrown rather. It's this line here, which is database exception. So you've probably guessed that the line that is thrown out is 25. So you can see that by extending our exception class, we can create our own methods inside to use data from our exception class. There's much more than this. If you go on the PHP manual, you'll be able to find a lot more methods inside and properties that you can take from this exception class and put it into your own. And then we've thrown our exceptions ourselves using catch twice while we're throwing twice. So that's how you're going to extend your exception class, and how you're going to catch multiple exceptions with your own custom error message.